Hey fam, this your girl Sarah B. It has been forever. I'm gonna say it. And I can say it's been out of fear. Like, I'm so worried about how many people gonna like it. Like, is it gonna go viral? Is it relatable? Am I talking about the right things? And it took my sis Tori to say, you know what? During your time where you're not around your family, there's really not a lot of distractions. Talk about how you feel. And here I am. I'm talking about how I feel. So, with this long period of absence, I have officially went back to work. I am multitasking. I am trying to take care of my daughter, deal with my work, which is very demanding, with the help of course, my husband when he gets home, or my best friend, Tori, to where it's like, okay, this is a busy day. I need some help. Well, with that parenting, I'm huge on that because of my upbringing, and I want to open up the forum and the conversation about, being able to change, right? So I've been watching this show called The Parent Test, and it shows you different parenting styles, like the helicopter, which is a parent who is very protective of their children to where they really can't make mistakes because they're there every step of the way. The strict parent approach where, it's yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes or no sir. They give them a little freedom, but everything is per order, right? They had intensive, which is more geared towards the Asian culture, where the idea is to be great, right? Which to me, it's along the lines of Black excellence, because as an Asian, what's the stereotype? They know numbers. They're smart. They're very innovative. So they put that in their repertoire to say, you know what? Let me expand on that. Let me learn something different. So they have to be extensive, right? They have the new age, which is not saying social media centric, but it gives them leeway. It gives them friendship. It gives them communication. It gives them transparency along the side to where it doesn't feel like they're being pressured the entire time. They have Black excellence to where you have to be better than what your stereotype is, right? You have to show them the values of some lifestyles to where they're able to strive towards something. They're able to see it, touch it, to say, I want that, right? And being a Black male or female in America, of course, we know that we have to work 10 times harder because no matter what it is, no matter the time of a society, there is a stigma between Black people. There's nothing different. I can politically say it, but it is what it is. We have free range, which free range was parents who allow their kids not necessarily to do anything that they want, but they feel like they was in a world of their own. They didn't really have a lot of rules. Their parents allowed them to make decisions on their own. So what? It's a teeter-totter. But in their mind, they're able to have self-expression, right? Not saying that they're being disrespectful, but they feel equal. There is no hierarchy, right? Then there was another one of structure, I believe. And it was 2 gay men. I say that because it's very prominent in our today's society. Beforehand, it was not acceptable. So it wasn't really there, but it is here now in 2023. So as a gay male parent, they have to parent their kids a little different. And there were some challenges that made them proud, and there's some challenges to where they feel as if they didn't want to show their failure. And we know as a parent, we all fail at some point because there isn't a rule book. There isn't a wrong or right. Like it's either it's a mistake or it's a lesson learned. Neither here or there. They did make some valid points. However, they teach their kids based on a structure level. So everything is time blocked. They understand what their schedule is. They had strict. I probably said that. I'm gonna bypass that just because I think I said it. But if I didn't, long story short, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes or no sir. Have fun. However, there's boundaries. Then there is child-led. And with that child-led, they allow their kids to make decisions. There's really not a lot of rules. Than anything, when they truly say your destiny is in your hands, that's truly what it is. They comfort their kids. There's really not a lot of structure. And then the last one, which is my favorite, the discipline one, to where they teach them the morals of lifestyle. They teach them that no matter where you go, even as an entrepreneur, there is a hierarchy. It's either you have to respect it, or at the same time you can disrespect it and you go down the line of consequences, right? So with discipline, it gives them the life of survival, simultaneously the life of being able to live. And depending on what pill you take, survival or to live, they're both hard. It's either you're going to rise to the occasion or you're going to be a product of your environment. So with that being said, I've been watching that, and I can really say that I am technically a mixture of a lot. Child-led, definitely not. Free range, definitely not. New age, absolutely. Discipline, number one. Black excellence, number two for sure. Strict, absolutely. I actually was able to relate to a lot of it. And as a helicopter parent, which my husband is huge on, I understand that perspective too, because we all want to protect our kids, but we also understand we can't be by their kids' side 24/7, right? So I can say that every parent they have some type of helicopter trait because it's natural, right? I mean, who say I didn't gave birth to a kid and I want them to learn everything on their own? Like, no, I'm going to give them some type of top cover to where they understand certain things. So I feel like a lot of those, as a parent, there isn't a one true style parent, especially in 2023, because the times are different. When we were kids, and when I say we as in the Generation X, we wanted to go outside. We had a computer, we had a Nintendo 64, we had the Super Nintendo, we had the Sega, we had the first generation PlayStation, but we wanted to be outside. And if our parents took away the PlayStation, it's okay because we get to go outside, right? With these kids, you take away their phone, the life is going to end. Or if they don't get the popularity, or they are criticized for the things that they think who they are, like they're mentally distraught. Where for us, we was taught mental toughness. So I would say as a parent, we can't be like our parents who raised us. We have to think outside the box. How do we protect our kids from thinking that they are other than? How do we protect our kids to believe that they are strong, they can overcome their battles? How do we tell our kids that God is number one in their life without TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of aspects that we don't talk about as parents that is very prominent in everyone's culture, because everyone's culture is not the same. Now, that outlook may be different, how we see things may be different, but it's still the same. It's still black on white crime. It's still police officers killing black men. Like, there are a lot of dynamics back in the day that are in today's age. It just looks different. And it is what it is. So as a parent, how do you remain agile? How do you remain in a state of growth to where you're growing with your kids, so your kid understand that they may not be your friend, but they're able to communicate with you because you're going to give it to them real. You're not going to judge them, and you want them to be able to succeed. How do we relay that message? And a lot of parents, you probably already is, and they just haven't heard it. But it's going to be that one thing in their life to make you proud, to where, dang, they really are listening. So as a parent, don't think they're not listening or not hearing you. They probably are. Does it register? Probably not. However, continuously to give them those resources. I know it's frustrating, because trust me, I have thrown in the towel on certain situations to where I'm like, you just don't get it. Because it was fucking with my mental. And if it fucks with my mental, how can I pour into someone else? I got to be straight so they can be straight, right? So I had to take a step back to actually reevaluate what is another approach. And with parents, we have to do that. We have to evaluate our kids as they are at the moment. And how do we evaluate a particular technique to allow them to reciprocate it? And by saying that doesn't mean if you go through all those steps it's going to happen, because it may not. But we still have to pour into our kids regardless. If you pour a particular liquid in a paper cup, in the beginning it's gonna hold the liquid. Over time, it's gonna wear down. Over time, it's not gonna be able to hold that liquid anymore. So it may be the same thing. So all that to say is, as a parent, well, as an existing parent, as a new parent, you have to learn how to grow with your kids, because kid number 1 and kid number 2 may not get the same love. Why? Because you're not the same person. Each kid, you're going to change. And if you don't, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a doctor, but at some point, when are you going to grow up? Unless you got it that good, give me the formula. At my age, I am still learning. With a 7-month-old, I can say that I'm able to truly love them, like more than my first kid, because of the mental state that I was in. I was going through a lot of shit when I was having my 13-year-old son. Now that I have a 7-month-old daughter, it's two different things, because I am two different people. So don't think you're a horrible person because you love your kids so differently. It's natural, at least to me. Somebody may say different, but from my perspective, it's natural, because we all change. So think about how you are as a parent. Think about the things you can improve. I think I said this in a couple of videos before, but it's continuous. It's not a one-time thing of the pros and the cons and the improvements. It's continuous, because we all change. Our jobs make us change. Our society makes us change. So we have to teach our kids the same thing. Like, what can we teach our kids or pour into our kids that we know but we're unable to implement? But if they know ahead of time, it's going to give them an upper hand. It's too late for us, but put them on game. As a parent, I want my kids to be on game. Like, it may be crazy as fuck, but I'm like, shit, come on, son, make them hoes go crazy. And when I say hoes, I don't necessarily mean it as females. It's just, we all have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all a label. Hoes, you a player, you a pimp. But let's be honest. Like, of course, the Bible says, save yourself. But is that truly what our society practice? Absolutely not. I'm going to tell my kid the right, and I'm going to tell my kid the reality. And that's just how I am. So, with that being said, be real with your kids, but be real with yourself. If you're not real with yourself as a parent, well, as a human to yourself, how can you be real as a parent? Like, that's not the same. That's comparing apples and oranges. So, for the ones who don't have kids, be selective. However, you can only be selective for so long, because kids change people. It just does. It's either going to change you and not him. It's going to change him and not her. It's going to change both of y'all. And that's something that y'all have to identify. If you think that, oh, I think he's the right person, or I think she is the right person, I'm going to have a baby by and we ain't married for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, just know you can't base your now on your future. Babies are in the future. You don't get pregnant and have them the day of. You get pregnant, you gotta think about it for months, right? You truly gotta, go through it, and you're going through a mental trial and tribulation to where you're thinking about the what ifs, but you're thinking about the love that you want to pour into your kids because you didn't get, or you thinking about, where your kid could go. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot mentally. So you have to think about that. We all grow from certain situations. Don't think we're going to remain static. And if you do, don't have no kids. Just don't. Word to the wise. Don't have no kids if you think you can't grow from anything. We all can grow from something. Even myself. So, as a bored mom, journal here, and it's been so long, that's been on my heart. And long story short, the key word was fear. Well, I think we all have it, and I'm growing from it. And I think sometimes, I feel like, oh, my parenting going so well, what can I talk about? I don't want to boast about it. I still want to remain humble, but maybe I should talk about my growth, right? Some people don't understand what growth look like, and they actually going through it. So, if you're watching this video, thank you for tuning in. I know it's almost 19 minutes in, but I thank you. I hope this is very useful. Please like, please subscribe. Please pass this on to anybody else that you may think could possibly need it. I mean, it's an open discussion. It's a communication piece. Make comments. Let's start a conversation. I'm down with criticism. Well, I say criticism, but constructive criticism. Don't be a bully, because I'm petty as fuck. It's FYI. I will go all in. But let's start the conversation, folks. So I hope you have a wonderful and great evening. Love you. Bye.